Hi everyone, welcome to LeapScholar YouTube channel. Hope you all are doing good. Rashi this side, I'll be your host for the day. We have us today Sam Sharma from Australia, who will be talking about the top 5 cheapest universities in Australia for your masters. Sam has mentored thousands of students aspiring to go abroad for their higher education. And before we start off, if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, subscribe now. Let us wait for more people to join the live stream. Say hi in the chat box. Tell us where you are from, what you're planning to study.
Hi everyone, to all the people who are signing in for live stream at LeapScholar channel. Hope you're all doing well, staying happy, safe, wherever you are. We'll kick off the things in next few seconds, like Rashi mentioned. So we'll get more students to sign in.
Yeah, I'll tell our users again that, we have Sam Sharma from Australia, who has mentored thousands of students to go abroad, and we are going to ask him many questions about masters in Australia and 5 cheapest universities in Australia for your masters. I think we can start now. So without any further ado, let us get into the first question. Sam, what are the factors a student needs to consider to pick the right university for their masters?
It's a very good question, Rashi. So a lot of factors students will need to consider when they are going to choose the university. Obviously, they want to make sure that this is the right university for them. So the first thing, I think most of the students agree that will be the fee that they have to consider, the tuition fee, that how much money they will be paying for the course that they're going to do. And, to be honest, being an Indian, we always like to know about the price of the thing first before we buy or we sign up for anything. So that will be one of the most important factor to consider. The second factor will be the scholarship. Because sometimes, like students might be able to consider a university because of the scholarship they might be able to score. Some universities may have a specific scholarships specifically for Indian students, of students who are going to do their masters. So that will be the second factor that students will consider, definitely should consider. The third will be the ranking, how the university ranks among other universities. So there are, a lot of graduate outcomes, student experiences, and there are many other factors. And, the quality of the education, one of the most important factor to consider for choosing the right university for the students. Then the location, which is also another important factor to consider, because if you're studying in certain parts, you might be able to score some additional points that might help you to stay longer. And there are a few other, factors to consider. So I think this location of the university and where you're going to study will be an important factor. Last but not the least will be the program. Obviously, if the program is available in a specific university, that will be great, because, because there are some university that will only offer specific type of courses and others they won't. So their students will have to, find the university that the program they really want to study or course they really want to study, is that course available. So these were, I think, my chosen 5 factors that students should consider to study.
Very well, very well. Speaking of Australia, Sam, what are the requirements to apply for a master's in Australia?
So yeah, I think there is some university will have a very similar sort of requirements, but one of them will be to start off with the application fee. They would like students to start off paying some sort of a fee at the beginning. Some university may waive them off. Some university can charge $100 or $200. It's not a lot of money, but it's just like a little admin fee that students usually have to pay. Then another requirement will be obviously to meet the academic requirements. So if you are going to study masters, it is expected that you would have done a bachelor degree in your home country. And with the bachelor degree also, it's good to have, scores which are in high, let's say 60 or 70% at least, and without too many failures during your study, because that, may help university to decide whether they want to give you a place in that specific course or not. And then another factor will be the language. So English language test results. So you will have to provide your test results, whether it's a PTE or IELTS. Usually with the IELTS, they'll have a minimum scores of at least 6.5 or 6.0 or 7 based on the type of course you select, and PTE as well, 58 to 64, somewhere in between, at least the minimum requirements, right? You must meet these English test requirements. Then you obviously have to, some courses actually will require you to provide some work experience as well. There may be, courses like high-end mass management courses. They may expect you to have some sort of work experience. So you may need to provide some sort of additional documentation for that. Also, GTE, you have to write your GTE, genuine temporary entrant. You have to meet all the other student visa requirements as well. But I think those were some of the main requirements that students need to consider before applying.
Right, right. So before we move on to the next question, if you have any questions about studying abroad, then click on the link in the description, and we'll have a scan for you, a QR code for you to scan also on the next screen. We'll be soon posting the link as well, and you can get free counseling within 5 minutes with an expert. So yeah, you can scan this code and get this expert counseling within 5 minutes for free. So we'll move on to next question. Meanwhile, moving ahead. Yeah, the main point of this session today is what are the top 5 Sam universities, most affordable universities in Australia, and why they are so most affordable.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a research we had to do, to find extensively which sort of universities are affordable. Now, over the years, universities might change these lists, things might change, which one is more affordable, because universities can change their pricing. There could be different promotion at specific times. Also consider if there are, scholarships available and, with the course you're going to do. So yeah, we're going to, we did some hand picking of some courses, or rather universities, which we found to be kind of falling into the category of most affordable ones. So we'll start off with the first one, which is University of New England. That is, university located in Armidale, New South Wales. So this is university where, they got this university with plenty of courses you can study, and the average fee falls anywhere around 19 to 20,000 for each year. That's an annual fee for an average business management courses. It's a little bit more if you're going to do engineering courses or IT related courses, but that's one of the most affordable University of New England. That's the name, and it's based in Armidale, New South Wales. The second one on the list we have is Southern Cross University. This one is also located in New South Wales, but it's located in Lismore. Now, obviously, some of these universities may have a multiple campuses across Australia as well. Like they have got Southern Cross University have got a campus in Lismore. They've got a campus in Coffs Harbour as well. But average annual fee for master's course is around 20,000 to 22,000 per year. That's in annual average cost for business management courses. Again, consider that if some of the courses like engineering, IT may be a little bit more expensive than those than business management courses. The third one on the list is University of Sunshine Coast. This university is located in Queensland. So that's located in, as the name says, University of Sunshine Coast. It's located in Sunshine Coast. It's a part of Queensland, beautiful part of Queensland. Average tuition fee each year is around 21 to 22,000 for a master's business courses. It obviously, as I said earlier as well, that some high-end courses like law, medical, engineering, these might be a little bit more expensive than that. University of Sunshine Coast, University of Southern Queensland rather, is the next one on the list, which is also in Queensland, but it's based in Toowoomba. It's a regional town in Queensland. They've got a really good campus over there. Annual average fees around $22,000 to $23,000 per year. And the last one on the list is Charles Sturt University, which is based in New South Wales, Bathurst. Their main campus is there, but they got multiple campuses around New South Wales, actually. Average fees around $23,000 to $24,000 per year for the master's courses. Again, I'm gonna just reiterate that these fees can change anytime, and there may be sometimes promotion at specific time frames or scholarships available. So some universities might become cheaper than the other, but these are average cost for some of the popular business management courses. As a student, I think it's very important that you should research as well, like which other universities that can give a better scholarships, or which course you want to study. And I think for that, it is good idea to speak to an experts like LeapScholar. They know like which universities are running promotions, which universities are a bit more affordable, or at times can be, so it's good to speak to a consultant who can help you to guide better for your career as well. So yeah, Rashi, that was top 5 university for our students.
Wonderful, wonderful, Sam. And Sam, I think you have studied in Central Queensland University, correct? So when you chose it, just walk us through a little bit. What made you choose back then, the Central Queensland University? What made you choose that?
Yeah, so I studied, a master's degree in accounting in Central Queensland University. It was in 2006. So a while back, internet wasn't that big thing back then. Everyone wasn't researching on the phone or on the internet. So one of the things that obviously ticked the box for me was the budget. As I mentioned earlier, factors to consider is the budget. So as coming from a middle class family, we had to consider the budget. We couldn't go to the top university just because they were a bit more expensive than what we would like to, because you have to have certain amount of money to pay for university fees and other things. So that was one of the reasons, the budget that I considered. The other thing was the agent recommendation. The person who recommended me was my agent was saying to me that that's a good university. And then also the popularity among the Indian students at that time. Sometimes students, choose the university because of popularity of the specific, university at time. So that was another reason. So those were 3 reasons we had, during the, for my choosing my university. Sorry.
All right, all right. Interesting, Sam. And next, we would like to know, obviously, masters and everything, that the key point is job after it. So, what is the scope of getting a job after graduating from one of these universities, the one the 5 you mentioned?
Yeah, I think university does have some impact on your career outcomes. If you have studied in let's say University of Melbourne, or Monash University or something, it looks good on your resume that you have done a course from these university. But I do not see the reason why students from, let's say, the universities I mentioned won't get a job in the industry, because there are obviously jobs available, and as an individual you have to make that sort of a call where you go and start finding the jobs. University can only help you so much, right? At the end of the day, it's an individual's willpower, and it's individuals like capabilities that helps us to actually reach our career goals. Like I studied in Central Queensland University. It's not the top ranked university, but it is a decent university, and I think I'm still doing okay in the career. And same other people, I've met some people who have done the degree from, let's say, very expensive university or top university, but they still driving a taxi, for example. So there is like still, I think it's at the end of the day, university can help, but it's not the only thing that will matter in your career.
That makes sense, Sam. And we should take some questions from the audience. A lot of people are tuning in, and yeah, hi everybody. I think we should take some questions from, let's see what people are asking.
Sure.
Somebody's asking, can you please suggest a question for PhD in Australia? What is the procedure of PhD in Australia?
Yeah, I think the PhD will obviously require a master's degree. So you have to have a master's degree, and there you have to submit your, they expect you to submit some sort of paperworks before, like what sort of research you want to do, because most of the time PhD by research will involve some sort of, the reasoning why you want to do this research, what's the background behind it. So you have to submit some papers for that. Yeah, so universities may have a specific requirements. Look at the university. I think go to university website, and usually it lists out a bunch specific sort of requirements as well. Like these are the things we need you to meet in order to get into university, especially
Right,
for
right.
PhD courses.
Yeah, I hope Manish, that answers your question. Next up, we'll take Nishant's question. He's asking that, how to get proper intake information and course details for the master's in taxation course.
Yeah, I think the intake information, depending upon the university, again, which university you want to do. I think this video might help you to understand like the factors you should consider. For if you started a bit late, I think you need to rewatch the video at the start. We discussed about like the factors you should consider again for choosing your masters. I think for the intake information, usually again, which university you decide, like this is the university, shortlist few universities, go to their website, find out what specific details they're expecting you to, which intakes they have available, like July or November or February, whichever intake it's available, and the details like how many units are there, how long the course is, because usually masters is around 2 years. But some masters can be a little bit shorter or may require additional research as well. So that will be, I think, my suggestion to you will be to go to the university website and find details from there.
Yeah. Thanks, Sam. A lot of questions are pouring in. We'll take last two questions. So Rohan Gungan is asking that, my sister wants a uni in Australia for a 2-year master's degree in occupational therapy. She has 80% in her bachelor's in occupational therapy and an impressive CV. What unis offer a cheaper master's?
Yeah, I think, Rohan, if you were listening to me, I listed 5 top affordable universities earlier. Some of them do offer these health-related courses and, occupational therapy. Again, if I have to reiterate those universities that I mentioned, University of New England, Southern Cross University, University of Sunshine Coast, University of Southern Queensland, Charles Sturt University. There is CQ as well, Central Queensland University, there's Victoria University. So there are a few universities you can consider. These are not that expensive universities that I mentioned. So if you look up in any of these universities, you will be able to compare which, again, some courses may not be available in certain universities. I think might be a good idea to, again, look at these university websites for more specific, or speak to LeapScholar, consultants, if they can guide you with that.
Right, right. And Sam, next up is, Gopika's question that is it good option to do masters in psychology from Australia, and which university is good in Perth for psychology? And, can you give a brief comparison about Edith Cowan and Murdoch when we consider psychology?
Psychology, again, is a very specific niche. It's a health related courses. Again, booming industry. Health is a booming industry, so definitely a good career prospect. I mentioned it in the last video that we did with LeapScholar as well. There is a website called joboutlook.gov.au. This is where you should definitely look up information on like what are the career outcomes of these specific, as a psychologist, what is the career options and what is the career future prospect, how much money you can earn and everything. It's given in that website. So very good website for any one of you who's considering to study. I always recommend to check that website for your career outcomes, joboutlook.gov.au. When it comes to university comparison, yeah, there's, like Edith Cowan and Murdoch University, they all having their own specialization. Yeah, I think, looking at both the universities, you have to see their rankings, you have to see their student experiences. I don't, on top of my head, I don't remember how do they rank. They're definitely not in the top 10, but they're decent. Both of them are decent university. I think you have to find out which one will suit better again, there's University of Western Australia as well. There is another one that I can't recall on top of my head in Perth. Yeah, so you compare all these. If you want to go to Perth, there are 6 universities, they have all the campuses, and then you should compare which one offers the better course. I always suggest students to make like little spreadsheet for yourself. Look at all the things you consider, like your fee and location and scholarships available, the ranking of this university. Look, all those factors that we discussed earlier.
Nice, Sam. I think we'll wrap up now. Thank you so much, Sam, for this insightful session and for our users. We will soon be back with more such videos. If you want to know more about studying abroad, click on the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen for a free counseling session, one-on-one session. Thanks so much for joining in today. We'll be back soon.
Thank you, everyone.